All right, so let's get started. First up, we're going to talk about Wella Color Charm, and we're going to begin with the Wella Color Charm developers. So this is going to be for permanent color. With Wella Color Charm, we have Cream Developer, the Wella Color Charm Cream Developer, and we also have the Clear Developer. The Cream Developer comes in 20 and 40 volume, and it's formulated to be used with permanent liquid and gel colors. It's ideal for bowl and brush applications. And we also have the Clear Developer, and this is more of a liquid consistency, if that makes sense. This is formulated to be used with permanent liquid or gel colors, and it's ideal for a bowl, ideal for a bottle application. And so here, I'm going to share with you, because as you can see, or as you saw in the previous slide, we only have 20 and 40 volumes. So here I want to share some information with you to enlighten you about how you can create a 10 volume and a 30 volume, and also give you an idea of how many levels of lightness or depth you can get from these. So to create a 10 volume, what you're going to want to do is that you want to mix equal parts of 20 volume and distilled water. And this is going to make a 10 volume, which is great to provide same depth or darker with a minimal amount of lift. Then we also have the 20 volume, and this gives you up to 2 levels of lift, and it's perfect for gray coverage. So if you're looking to cover your client's gray hairs very well, you want to go with the 20 volume. The 30 volume is very easy to create. You simply mix 20 volume and 40 volume on equal parts, and it's going to create this 30 volume for 3 levels of lift. And finally, the 40 volume would give you anywhere from 3 to 4 levels of lift. And this is when you use it with permanent color, because if you use it with lightener, of course, it'll give you more amount of lift. And so let's move on to the next slide. And here we have the Wella Color Charm developers for permanent liquid toners, because I don't know if you knew, guys, but Wella Color Charm also have permanent liquid toners, which are great to cancel unwanted warm tones, to refresh blondes, or to even create some dimension. And I can also use them to color correct any, under warmth in there that you want to cancel. And so for the permanent liquid toners, you can use the 20 volume either in cream or clear, depending if you're going to use a bottle or a bowl and brush. It's, your prerogative, if that makes sense. And this is going to give you, the 20 volume is going to give you a slight lift and tonal deposit. So for those of you who are not familiar with what a slight lift is, a lot of stylists call it kind of like you can use it to do a base breaker. So these, I know we're talking more about liners, but I want to give you a little bit more information about these. These, you can let them process up to 30 minutes, and therefore you'll get, with the 20 volume, that slight lift, which can be translated into a base breaker. But if it could be processed for up to 30 minutes. But if you leave it, for example, 15 minutes, and you already have the amount of cancellation that you want, you can definitely go ahead and shampoo and condition, and then you would probably not get as much of that slight lift that it provides. All right. We also have the Wella Color Charm Activating Lotion, which is a great developer to use with our demi-permanent hair color, and also with our permanent liquid toners. And this is only going to give you tonal deposit only. This won't give you any amount of lift. And here we're going to start talking about our lighteners and what we have to offer. Remember, guys, that if at any point you have any questions, doubts, or concerns, please make sure to write on the chat box, because I am here to answer all your questions. So let's get to the Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener. I love it because it gives you up to 7 levels of controlled lift, reliable lift. It has a protecting oil system to help lock in the moisture while lightening at the same time for a safe, pure blondes from root to ends blondes. It's safe to use on and off the scalp, but when using it on the scalp, guys, we recommend for you to use 20 volume because we have to be mindful of sensitivity and, we want our clients on the chair to be comfortable while lifting at the same time. Remember that because of the warmth of your client's body, it's going to give you that extra lift that you need to get where you want to be. It's a dust-free formula. You can use any of the Wella Color Charm cream developers, and it's a 1:2 mixing ratio, which means that it's 1 ounce of the powder lightener and 2 ounces of the developer. And we're going to process for up to 50 minutes or whenever the level of lightness that you're looking for is achieved. And here we have some perks. I love these two. These are very cool to use. And these are our additives. So we have what is famously known by the VP or the Blonding Plus. This provides an additional level of lift, and it's meant to be used with formulas level 9 and higher. The mixing ratio, it's a 1:1 mixing ratio, which means 1 part color, 1 part Blonding Plus 4 parts developers. Remember, guys, that Wella Color Charm has an amazing mixing ratio of a 1:2, which means 1 ounce of the color and 2 ounces of the developer. Therefore, if we're using 1 part color and 1 part BP, that makes 2 ounces. This is why we would use 4 parts developer. And I hope that that made it a little bit more clear. We also have the amazing Cooling Violet. This product reduces unwanted warm tones, and you can add it to permanent formulas. And a pro tip would be that I have used it on its own to create kind of like fashion shades and canceled unwanted warm tones. But the general rule to use this is that you can add 1 up to 4 full caps per application. And when I say caps, it's literally the cap of the product, okay? So you just pour between 2 to 4, and that would give you, if you use 2 caps, it'll give you a soft amount of cancellation. But if you use 4 caps, that means that that's like the full throttle, and it'll cancel, and it'll be really, really cool and kind of like a matte, because as we know, cooler colors are more matte and warmer colors are more iridescent and bring more light. All right. We're going to move on to the next slide.
Louise, we have one question. We have one question coming in from Jenny. She asked, please correct me, but you just said that the activation lotion can be used as a zero developer, like with toners, question mark?
All right, thank you so much for your question. And Elsa, everybody say hi to Elsa. She is my co-host today. When you hear her amazing voice, she's here to support us to be able to take advantage of this training. And if you can, Elsa, please read the question again. I'm sorry.
Sure. Jenny asked, please correct me, but you just said the activation lotion can be used as zero developer, question mark, like with the toners.
So yes, you can use the activating lotion with our permanent developers, and our activating lotion, it's less than a 10 volume, okay? It's kind of like around a 6 volume developer. So this is only going to give you tonal depositing only, meaning that it's not going to give you any lift. It's just going to deposit and tone, or enhance if you were looking to enhance any existing color. And I hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much, Louise. And we have another question coming in from Honey Wright. She also has the question, is the cooling violet added to your color mixture? Question mark.
Correct. Yes, you are right. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that question. You can add 2 to 4 full caps or capfuls per application. So you can add this to your permanent color. For example, if you're doing a level 9, which is a light blonde, but your client usually tends to pull to that very warmth, and you want to make it more of a cooler level 9 blonde, you can add between 2 to 4 caps onto your formula. And that's it. You mix it in a 1:2 mixing ratio, which is the general rule for Wella Color Charm permanent color, and you're good to go.
Great, thank you so much.
And so we're going to continue to move on with the Wella Color Charm Painting Balayage Lightning System. And this is one of my favorites because with this powder lightener, you don't need to use any foils. It's totally ammonia free, so it's very safe if you have clients that have compromised blonde hair. It's a clay-based lightener for a creamy consistency that gives you up to 6 levels of lift, and it provides a natural sun-kissed look or sun-kissed highlights. It has the ActiBond technology, which I will go a little bit into on the next slide, but it comes in a 2-step system. So step 1, it's the powder lightener. And step 2, it's the developer, which is essentially a 30 volume developer. The mixing ratio is a 1:2 mixing ratio, as we all know, 1 ounce of the powder lightener and 2 ounces of its dedicated developer. The processing time is up to 50 minutes. And I know that a question might pop up, so I want to go ahead and clear the air out. Yes, you have to use the step 2 with this lightning system because the step 2, it's essentially a 30 volume developer, but it has a technology that gives you kind of like a web technology to the clay lightener so that it stays where you put it and so that it doesn't swell and kind of like stain hairs that you are not wanting to color. Let's move on to the next slide and let's talk a little bit more about the ActiBond technology and how it works. This formula hardens on the outside. So when you apply it with a freehand painting technique, which I love because it gives you full creativity, you can personalize it with every single client. It stays moist on the inside. And like I said, with its dedicated developer, it forms a flexible wet-like structure that adheres to the hair and it doesn't spread out wherever you don't want it. It spreads easily when you apply it and it stays in place for a precise application. Like I said, allows you to be creative and gives you all freedom. And sections, and the sections, when you apply it, they can sit side by side and the color is not going to bleed into each other. I love it because it saves a lot of time because you're not having to, you know, use foils and having to log the foils in and none of that. Even though if you wanted to use foil to give you an extra lift, you can by using a foliage technique probably. And so we can move on. And here, there's a trivia question. What is the recommended volume to use with the Wella Color Charm Painting Balayage system? You can answer this question on the chat box. Okay, guys? Oh, I see Lori has answered. Lisa, Carnine, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Stacy, Jenny, oh, this is so cool. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in today and wanting to learn about these products. They are amazing. I use it on a day-by-day basis, and they work just perfect. They're very reliable. 30 volume, there you go. That's right. I see Kyla, Katie. Thank you so much for interacting with us. Oh my goodness, and now we're gonna go to the demo. And so here, I want to share my screen with you guys really quickly because I used the Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener, and I also use the Wella Color Charm painting balayage system to create this look that I want to share with you guys. And so here I'm going to be using a combination of foliage and balayage techniques so that you can see how both of these work and the difference between the amount of lift that you can get from each of these lighteners. Okay, and so can you guys see that? Yes, perfect. Let's go on and hit play. As you can see, this beautiful mannequin has a natural level 5 from root to ends. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna divide this hair an inch from the hairline in the front in both sides and also in the back, as you can see here. Remember, you can ask any questions and I can stop the video so I can further provide more information if you need it. Then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix the Wella Powder Lightener with 40 volume because this is a mannequin head and I want maximum amount of lift. And I'm creating a fine weave and I'm gonna put this in foils. We're gonna saturate the hair from the mid shaft and the ends, and then towards the root, as you can see here, we're gonna gently caress that hair towards the regrowth or the root to give it a lived-in color, very soft, no lines of demarcation. And we're going to continue to do this starting from the back, working my way all the way through the front, applying the color in the folio. This is essentially what it's called a foliage technique. I'm going pretty high doing those strokes, but you can create V shapes, W shapes, and then just use your brush to sweep it upwards, and this gives you a nice blended look. Once you are done, obviously we're going to do this in both sides, but I'm only showing one side for the purpose of time. And then once you're done with that, we're going to mix the Wella Color Charm painting balayage in a 1:2 mixing ratio with its dedicated developer. And we're gonna start my balayage application. I like to pinch the hair using my 2 fingers and apply the color away from the scalp. And then once I do that, I can use sweeping motions, like brushing, like when you're sweeping the floor, and make sure you always go downwards. And then once you apply the maximum amount of the lightener in the mid shaft and the ends, you're gonna go and smudge towards the regrowth a little bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna saturate both sides throughout the mid shaft and the ends, and you'll see a little bit of that in the upcoming part. So as you can see here, I'm using a lot of lightener because it gives you that web-like consistency, and you apply and then you go up towards the regrowth once you have unloaded most of the product in the mid shaft and the ends. And as you can see here, guys, this is only going to paint the surface for a beautiful balayage. As you can see here underneath the hair, there's no color. You see, so this is how you are making sure you're doing it right. You know, with the 1:2 mixing ratio, you just apply on the top and then you go in a diagonal back kind of like application, as you can see there. And then now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use the paddle to make sure that we saturate the mid shaft and the ends. And if you don't have the paddle, you can also use the back of your hand like I did on the previous section. But here I'm gonna use the paddle. And what I wanna do here, guys, is that I wanna make sure that that color right where the paddle is, you're gonna push that color in to saturate both sides. So essentially, towards the regrowth, it's only going to be in the surface, and in the bottom, it's going to be saturated on both sides. And this is going to give you a beautiful lived-in look, a beautiful balayage. This gives you up to 6 levels of lift, and the Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener would give you up to 7 levels of lift, and those are the final results. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. Perfect. Here we are. Oh my God, look at all your beautiful faces. Wow, Irina, you look amazing. And so guys, I want to share with you the actual mannequin that I color. I have it right here because I pre-recorded myself to make it a little bit more easier for all of you guys. But here you can see how it looks in the end. Okay, so as you can see, it has that kind of like diagonal back, because what we did is that we sectioned only the perimeter in the front and in the back, and then we colored. And as you can see here, I'm going to get it a little bit closer because I want you to see how this lighter piece here, this was what was in the foil with the 40 volume. And then the other level of lightness that is a little bit more subtle, that was the balayage technique. Okay, so every time, if your clients just want a soft look, you can just go with the balayage. But sometimes, as we all know, I know all of you are professionals, we have those clients that want like a balayage, which is supposed to be natural, but they want platinum blonde in those ends. Would you agree, guys? Yes, let me know in the chat box. I see your beautiful faces. So let's say that this client wants a balayage, but they want it to be platinum blonde. What you want to do, instead of mixing these two, the Wella Color Charm painting balayage, it's going to give you a natural look. Okay, so maybe if they want platinum balayage, maybe you don't want to use this. Maybe you want to go ahead and you want to use the Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener that gives you up to 7 levels of lift, okay? But you're gonna use that technique using the foil, okay? So you're gonna put it in the foil, but just like in the video, towards the regrowth or the roots, we're gonna smudge it. So it gives you that balayage, lived-in natural look. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to go unmute and let's chat a little bit, guys. I want to talk to you guys as well. And we do have a few minutes to share with all of you. What do you say, honey? I'm looking at you. I saw you nodding, honey. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in, Irina. Irina, you're on mute. So if you want to say something, just make sure you go on unmute yourself. If you want to unmute yourself, there should be like a little, kind of like a little microphone thing. There you go.
Thank you so much. It's like I'm listening, and after I'm gonna ask. It looks, yes, it looks beautiful.
Perfect, no problem. Thank you so much for interacting. Anybody else before we move on?
Louise, we do have a question in the chat box.
Okay, let's do it.
This is coming from Lauren's statement. She would like to know, how much would you charge for something like this due to doing highlights and balayage?
That is a great question. And so that's going to depend, guys, on your own prices. But I'm going to give you, without saying a number, because everyone can charge whatever they want. You know your worth. So you charge whatever you feel like. But an idea that I can give you is that, for example, in my opinion, because we kind of like, let me get this a little bit lower and put it this way, okay? So because I went like this and I talked all of this out and I did not color any of it, I just did the both sides. For me, that is kind of like a partial highlight. So whatever you charge for partial highlight, you can charge partial highlight, but hold on, guys. We use 2 different lighteners and 2 different techniques, okay? So in my salon where I work, I also have prices for an accent highlight, okay, which is not a partial, it's a lot less. Our accent highlights, or my accent highlights, are only up to 10 foils. So for this beautiful client, I would charge her a partial and an accent highlight. Just add those two prices together, and then that'll be your final price, unless you have your toning. It's another price. You can either add it on, or if you have it included in your highlighting price, because I charge for highlights, but I also, in the price, I include already the toner, just because you don't want to go into this conversation with the client. Sometimes they want it, sometimes they don't. And we want to make sure that our work looks good, because it's a billboard for everyone. So it needs to look perfect, okay? So for those of you who are wondering, how did I tone this? Because it was a bit brassy, of course. She's a natural level 5, a natural, you know, the mannequin. Well, it is natural hair. So what I did is that I went in, I know we have not gotten into Shimmer Lights permanent toners, but that's exactly what I use. And I use the Cool Beige. Let me see. Yes, the Cool Beige. I use that one from root to ends with 10 volume, and let it sit for 15 minutes only. This product, you can let it sit for up to 30 minutes. And we'll get into that, but that's the one that I use. Look how shiny and beautiful that looks, guys. All right, are we ready? Yes.
Louise, we have a question. Her name is Lavette Benson. Lavette, if you'd like to go on mute, you can ask your question directly to Louise, or you can put it in the chat box.
Hi, Louise. And hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I just, you know, like, once you do the lightener and everything, and the client go home and they got to take care of their hair afterwards. So, what would you recommend, like a good moisturizing conditioner to keep that moisture going in the hair, and so it won't break, you know, after the lightener and, you know, all the color and stuff. So what would you recommend?
Oh my God, thank you so much for that question, and thank you for tuning in. So that is a great question that we all need to you know, let our clients know how they can take care of their hair at home. So when they come back, it's easier for you and for us to continue providing that service. So I would definitely send them home, probably with the Shimmer Lights toning mask. And the Shimmer Lights toning mask, it provides purple pigments that are going to cancel the unwanted warm tones. And at the same time, it's going to provide conditioning agents. I will also recommend, when they're styling their hair, to use the Shimmer Lights leave-in conditioner. I love this one because it leaves the hair super, super soft. It has lavender pigments and kind of like a lavender fragrance that they can use as a leave-in before they style, and it's going to maintain the hair, of course, because it's a leave-in conditioner, nice and moisturized, okay? We also have with Claro Professionals, the Shimmer Lights Thermal Shine, and this is when they use their hot tools like the curling iron or the flat iron. So these are 3 great products that they can take home and keep their hair nice and nurtured, you know, and feeling great. Of course, for shampoo and conditioner, the Shimmer Lights shampoo and conditioner. And we added these extra products that I'm sharing with you today just to address all of those issues or situations that a blonde can go through, okay? I hope that answered your question. Yes, Renee, go ahead, beautiful.
Yes, you said the customer is supposed to use this conditioner. So if you put the toner, how long the toner will stay on the hair? Why they have to use the conditioner to maintain the color?
That is a great question, Renee. Thank you so much for tuning in. So what happens is, Renee, that as you know, For example, if your client is just getting highlights and they're getting a low maintenance look, which is essentially a balayage or all of those rooted looks, they're not gonna come back to you maybe in 3 to 6 months, depending. That's what clients are doing nowadays. So your toner, it's going to last, even though it's a permanent toner, because the hair has been pre-lightened before, it's only going to last about 25 washes, you know? So that's gonna depend also how many times they washing throughout the week. So this is just going to help them look amazing and feel good with the work that you did for a longer amount of time. Did that answer your question?
Thank you. And one more.
Yes.
You said she will come back in 4-6 months. How you do the retouch? Do you take the same pieces which you painted before, or you going with the different pieces?
So that is a great question. Thank you so much. Remember that what I am providing is just examples. Maybe she could come faster, or maybe
yes,
she doesn't
yes,
come
yes.
at all. But to answer the question about the application, what you're going to do is that you're going to hopefully remember what technique you did on her, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to section the same pieces, right? And then you're going to go ahead and you're just going to connect whatever grew. We're not going to overlap unless she wants to be brighter, and if her hair can take another bleach service, you know, you're going to determine that when you address her hair. But yes, it would essentially be not a root touch-up, but a touch-up. You're going to start wherever it ended, and you are going to color just the hair that grew.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, beautiful.
Louise, I
Yes.
know we have some eager attendees who want to learn everything, but we have so much more information, especially because you did mention Shimmer Lights, Lightplex system, which I cannot wait for you to review. I think that will answer several questions.
Yes.
We have one last question, and we just wanted to know a little bit about what level did you get to after lightening the mannequin, and how long did you process it? While you answer that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and put the next slide up. So the question, Louise, was what level did you get to after lightening the mannequin, and how long did you process?
Thank you so much for that question. So I'm going to bring her back in. And so as you can see here, guys, wherever I pre-lighten using the Watercolor Charm powder lightener with 40 volume, as you can see here, I got up to a level 10. So that was pretty light, you know, because it was inside of the foil. We used 40 volume, and I let it process for up to 50 minutes. I mean, not up to, I let it process for 50 minutes, which is the maximum amount of time. And so wherever I used the foils, it went all the way to a level 10. And I would say wherever I used the Watercolor Charm painting balayage system, it lifted it to about a level 8. And I hope that answered the question.
Yes,
All
thank
righty.
you so much.
Yes, and we're gonna talk about now about Claro Professional Lighteners, and of course, care and styling products, as I already gave you some information upon them. And so this is the Lighteners Overview we're gonna go in today. We're gonna talk about the basic white, which is an extra strength powder lightener for only off the scalp applications. Meaning applications like the demo that I just did, because we never touched the scalp. We also have the BW2, which is a dedusted powder lightener for also off scalp services. And last but not least, we have the Collato Colors, which is a tonal powder lightener for off the scalp applications. And we're going to go into some of that information because they have several ones with different tonalities. And so for the basic white, it's an extra strength powder lightener. It gives you balanced lightening, predictable, very quick results, and it's used for foiling, balayage, and all of scalp applications. And so this is for a mixing ratio of a 1:2 mixing ratio. And I know we already know it's 1 part lightener, 2 parts developer. The processing time until desired lightness is achieved, or up to 50 minutes, a maximum amount of time. And then the BW2, it's an extra strength powder lightener, dedusted formula with balanced lightening, predictable, quick results. It's used for foiling, balayage, and all off scalp applications with a 1:2 mixing ratio and processing time up to 50 minutes. We also have the Collato Colors, and this one comes, I believe, in 3 different colors, which is blue, purple, and clear. It's a clay-based tonal powder lightener that is used for foiling, balayage, and all off-scalp application. It gives you lift and tone in one step. So for dark hair only, we're going to use the blue formula, and it's going to control unwanted orange tones. It gives you up to 5 levels of lift. It has a mixing ratio of a 1:2, and the processing time is up to 50 minutes. And this one, you can use it on clients that have black or very dark brown hair all the way to lightest brown. So from a level 1 all the way to a level 5. This is why it has blue undertones, because blue cancels what, guys? Blue cancels orange. So most likely, people like me who is a Latino is going to have a lot of those orange tones. So this is why you probably want to go best with the blue. We also have the Collato Colors of Violet. It's a clay-based tonal powder lightener used for foiling, balayage, and all off scalp application. This one, it's clay-based, so there's no need for foils, guys. It gives you lift and tone in one step, and it's for light hair only. It controls unwanted yellow tones, provides up to 5 levels of lift, 1:2 mixing ratio, and 50 minutes, up to 50 minutes processing time. And as you can see in the chart here, you can use it either in levels, all the way from level 6 to level 10s. And we have the Collato Colors Clear Eyes. It's a clay-based clear powder lightener used for foiling, balayage, and all off-scalp application for all hair textures, level 4s and above. This one gives you up to 6 levels of lift, and it has a mixing ratio of a 1:2 and processing time up to 50 minutes. And you could use it with clients all the way from a light brown, which is a level 4, all the way to the lightest blonde, which is a level 10.
Louise, we have one question from Lauren.
Okay.
And yes. She would like to know, can you use a toner with the Violet Lightener?
Yes, you definitely can. If you feel like you want to cancel more unwanted tones, you can definitely go ahead and use a toner if necessary. You know, it's all going to depend on what the client wants.
And is this best on natural hair, or can it be used over pre-colored hair?
You can use it on a natural or pre-colored hair. You could use it on both. Now, as a professional and with my experience, I have noticed that depending on how dark, if their hair has been colored very dark, it's still gonna give you the lift, but I feel like when it's natural hair, it kind of like gives you an extra punch, like it lightens a little bit even faster and better. And I mean, that's common sense, isn't it? But you can use it on both. And so all of these lighteners you can formulate or mix with our pure white developer, pure white developers. And we have a 6 volume for slower lightning action. and chemically relaxed hair. So a 6 volume, of course, is lower than a 10 volume. So it's very gentle to the hair. It gives you very subtle lift, but at the same time, it's very, very safe. We have the 10 volume to give you moderate lightening. 20 volume, it's kind of like the standard lightening on and off service that you can use on and off the scalp as well. And it's best also when you want to, if you're using it with color, it's best for gray coverage. The 30 volume of scalp, fast lightening and natural balayage effect. And the 40 volume, it's recommended for balayage services when extra lightening is desired for those platinum balayages we were talking about.
Louise, we have a couple questions coming in. I will start with the question coming in from Lauren. Does the clear ice also have a blue undertone in it, or any toner for that matter?
That is a great question. Thank you so much. So unfortunately, no. The clear one, it's just clear. It doesn't have any toning abilities. It just gives you the lift. But because it doesn't give you any tonal abilities, it's able to give you up to 6 levels of lift. So it gives you an extra level of lift, and it doesn't cancel, you know, anything. Like, it just gives you a pure, beautiful blonde.
Great. And then also the last question is coming from Diana. I am not too familiar with the Kaleidoscope color beige, but she would like to know which of these 3 toners would be more like the Kaleidoscope beige.
Yes, I think I remember Kaleidoscope beige. It was one that we did have. And so I would definitely go with the violet if you're trying to reach that beige kind of light tone, because we have to lift pretty high in order to get a beautiful beige tone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think we have a question coming up on the slide.
All righty. And the question is, what are the 3 shades of Collato colors? Please answer that in the chat box. Oh, I see Amelia. Yes, you guys are doing great. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for paying attention. This is very important, guys. You know, if, as you all know, for those of you out there, all of us out here, we need to know how to cancel unwanted warm tones. And you know, those orange and yellow tones are very hard to get rid of. So knowing what cancels what is very important. This is the reason why Claro Professionals provides these amazing lighteners to be able to address all of the blonde ambitions that our clients have. And so this makes it a little bit easier for us to just grab one lightening powder and do 2 steps in one. And there we go with the blue, violet, and clear eyes. Oh, and then we have a quick demo. Yes, I'm very excited. I'm going to share my screen, guys. So just bear with me here. Let me start broadcasting. I think that you can see my screen there. We're going to go into Google Drive. And here's my beautiful niece, Emma. She wanted to be my model, and I said, let's do it. As you can see here, Emma has very long hair. She has some previously lightening done, and she hasn't been to the stylist for about a year. She doesn't live here. She was visiting from Puerto Rico, so I was able to use her to share with you how the basic white powder lightener works. And I mixed the basic white powder lightener in a 1:2 mixing ratio, only with 20 volume, because here, what I'm gonna do is kind of like a touch-up, as one of the participants was asking earlier, but let's go ahead and look at it. As you can see, she hasn't been to the salon in a while. And what I wanted to do is that I just wanted to enhance, I'm gonna pause it here because I wanna give you a little bit of background. So my niece said, she said, Tío, which means uncle, I want to do something different. I want to have a total transformation, but I want low maintenance. I'm tired of going to the salon every time. And so what I did here, as you can see, I sectioned out just the top of the top of her head in the front with a triangular shape. And I'm only going to use 4 foils. I'm doing, as you can see here, what's considered either a fine weave or a baby light. And then I'm just using that. It's a very narrow triangular shape, and you're gonna see the amazing results that I created only with 4 foils in an hour and a half. So as you can see here, we're gonna grab that fine weave and we're gonna put it tidy. We're gonna apply the lightener. And then I usually try to apply the lightener away from the roots. And once I unload the brush, I go ahead and start applying towards the root. Here, what we want to be mindful is that we don't want to overlap the lightener because we don't want to over process the hair. This is why we went with 20 volume. This is the second foil, as you can see. And we're just gonna, make sure it's nice and secure there. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna continue. And I did back to backs. I did not leave any hair in between. This is our third foil, and with this, you can also go ahead and apply the lightener away from the roots or the regrowth. And then as you saw there, and I will do it again, I went and I smudged the color up a little bit to give it more of that soft transition and not a line of demarcation, even though it is really close to the scalp. This is our third foil, and we're gonna go into our last foil here. As you can see, I'm making sure that it's very fine. You can read a book through this section. As you can see the foil underneath and everything. It's a very fine sections, guys, to create this look. That's very important for proper saturation and maximum amount of lift. I'm gonna use my brush vertically here, as you saw, to kind of like give it that soft transition, because in this last foil, I went in with kind of like a slice instead of a weave. I kind of like probably took a hair out or 2. And then now once I lock in this 4th and last foil, we process only for 30 minutes because we wanted something soft. She lives in Puerto Rico. She likes the warmth because she goes a lot to the beach. So she really doesn't care for a very cool look. And this is the final results, guys. How do you like it? Only 4 foils, total transformation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let's go back. Here we are. Did you guys like it?
Beautiful, I love it. Very nice.
Thank you so much. It was very easy to recreate.
Very nice. And can you please talk more about toner after, because I'm using different product and I don't know about toner like in Clairol. After, if you lift like level 9, 10, what is the best tone to do the I don't know, the better shade with Clairol?
If I could just interject, Louise, because the next section is our blonde line extension. So
yes.
Karina, I love that you're asking. I feel like you already know our PowerPoint and you're ahead of the game. If you could hang tight, I think you might be getting your questions answered, but if you hang tight for 1 second, let's go ahead and get into the next section because it has all to do with our new toners. So I hope you are all ready for it. Let's go ahead. I will go ahead and share my screen.
Yes, thank you, Jamila. Hopefully I pronounced that right. All right, and we're gonna move on and we're going to continue with the PowerPoint. I will make sure I answer that question. And thank you so much, Elsa, because it is true. That's exactly what I'm gonna talk about right now. We have a blonde extension with shimmer lights, and you saw some of the products already for the styling, but we also have the Plex Lightener. So we have a two-step lightning system from Claro Professionals called Shimmer Lights Plex. And so let me tell you all about this, and then we're gonna go into more information where we will answer that question. So the Shimmer Lights Plex Lightener, it's a Violet Lightener that provides anti-brass results. It gives you up to 7 levels of lift. It's a dust-free powder formula. You can use it on and off the scalp applications, but when you use it on the scalp, guys, as you all know, we recommend only 20 volume, okay? And then for off scalp, you can use all the way up to 40 volume for maximum amount of lift. This is also a 1:2 mixing ratio. We have it available in 1 ounce, and also the little tub, which is 8 ounces. So in terms of application, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna apply this on dry hair. We're gonna process up to 50 minutes, and we're gonna check every 10 minutes for that desired lightness or amount of lift. But remember, only process up to 50 minutes. Then we're gonna rinse thoroughly. So this is important, guys. When you're using the Shimmer Lights Plex Lightener, and I'm gonna give you a lot more cool information about this, we're only going, once you process for up to 50 minutes or whenever the amount of lightness is achieved, you're gonna go ahead and you're going only to rinse thoroughly the hair, and we're gonna apply the step 2, okay? We're not going to shampoo, we're gonna apply the treatment, which is the step number 2. And so what happens with the Light Plex is that it's a lightener that it's enriched with a treatment for less amount of breakage. It gives you 90+% amount of breakage. So this is a powder lightener that you can use with everyone, but especially with someone who has compromised hair, but maybe wants to go a little bit lighter. And we all have that client that wants to go lighter. That's why a lot of other products, bonding products, were invented. So this is going to provide shiny conditioned hair. You can use the step 2 as a weekly treatment. Once a week, you can apply it on clean towel, dry hair. So the step 2, you can use it at the salon as part of the lightening service, but you can use also retail this product to your guests at the salon so they can take it home and use it as a treatment once a week. They're going to apply it on clean towel, dry hair, leave it for 10 minutes, and then they're going to rinse and they can style as desired. And we also have the final step after lightening. So a lot of people were asking about, what do you do after you lighten, especially if it's a lightener that it doesn't have the toning ability into it, like the Collato Colors. So these are 3 new shades that Claro Professionals Shimmer Lights Permanent Toners has 3 new shades, which are the cool beige, which I showed earlier, and I use it with the first mannequin head. We also have the platinum eyes and the smoky pearl. So these 3 cool blonde shades neutralize brass for cool blonde results and incredible shine. It has a silky consistency for easy application, and you can use it after pre-lighten or even to refresh a client that's already blonde for a more even blended results. So you're going to apply it to towel dry hair, clean towel dry hair. and you're going to focus on the area that need the most toning. Again, most of the time I apply it from root to ends in all hair strands. You can use a wide tooth comb once you apply the color to kind of like run the comb through and make sure it saturates and it covers all of those hair strands evenly. We're going to let it process anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, and we're going to check every 5 minutes until the desired tone is achieved. Do not use heat. Rinse thoroughly, shampoo, condition, and style. And so they have their own dedicated developers. The Shimmer Lights has the 10 volume cream developer for the toners, and also for the lightener. And we also have the 20 volume. The 10 volume gives you a gentle lift, and the 20 volume, it's a standard lift for use with Shimmer Lights or Shimmer Lights toners or the lightener, either or you can use. Now we're going to look at some before and after shots that the company created for us.
We have a couple questions. Marlon wanted to know, since this is a permanent toner, what volume do you recommend to use with it to avoid lightening natural hair?
That it's a great question. So, for example, we recommend to use the 10 volume. And with that said, 10 volume gives you depositing, but if you leave it maybe all the way up to 30 minutes, which you can leave it on the hair anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. So this is my pro tip, guys, because as you know, I use this product on a daily basis. If you leave it up to 15 minutes and you already got the desired amount of toning or the shade that you want, you can rinse it off, and you are not gonna find that it gives you any slight lift. But maybe, maybe if you leave it all the way up to 30 minutes, it might give you a slight shift. But other than that, I mean, I have used it, I have left it 30 minutes, and I have not seen much kind of like changes, if that makes sense. So 10 volume, it's great, and you can leave it anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes.
Great, and then we also have another question coming in from Jenny. She wants to know, can you combine the toners?
Yes, definitely. You can combine these 3 toners with each other. Now, if you're trying to combine with another color line, or I don't recommend that, but you can mix these with each other. Any of the 3 together, or you can choose 2 of them and mix them together. You definitely can.
Great, and then Patty, go ahead and go off mute. Patty also had a question, and she actually wanted to verbally ask you. Go ahead, Patty.
Hi, Louise. So my question is about the Shimmer Lights Plex. Is that basically a bleach with the bond builder in it, and the violet accent in it is perhaps a small hint amount of a direct dye, which sometimes acts as a toner depending on the volume used?
You are right. You are right. It does have the toning abilities that, Shimmer Lights is known for, right? With the Shimmer Lights shampoo and conditioner. And it has a bonder in it. So you can use this only with one step. It's going to have toning abilities and that bonding ability, which is going to reinforce the bonds into the hair while lightening at the same time. Therefore, it's going to give you less amount of breakage. So you're going to be lightening in a very safe way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. We hope that answers your question. And while you were answering that question, Louise, we had 2 more coming in, and then we'll go to the before and after visuals. Honey wanted to know, and I thought this is a great question, actually, Honey, is can you add the Blonding Plus or the Cool Violet with these?
So the Blonding Plus and the
The
additives are from Wella Color Charm. So I don't recommend, yes, mixing the two different houses, if that makes sense. Yes. So the answer is no. As of today, but who knows if Claro may bring something along that we can also do this with the Claro permanent toners. Thank you for that question. It's an amazing question.
Yeah, that was a great question. And then Marlon had one question. Are these toners not associated with a level? I understand exposed pigment matters when toning, but what's the darkest the hair should be lifted to? A level 6 and above, question mark?
Yes, that is question, and I totally agree. I totally agree that we start seeing all of that warmth when we're lifting clients who are between a level 4 and a level 5. We see a lot of warmth coming through. So you can definitely tone someone who lifted up to a level 6. Now, keep in mind that when you lift all the way to a level 6, oh, let's look at this. We're dealing, can you see this, guys? Because I can't see myself. We're lifting to a level 6. We're gonna see a lot of that orange. So yes, these, okay, thank you, Lori. These toners are going to cancel from a level 6 on, and you will see cancellation abilities now. And we're gonna see a demo that I have, and we're gonna go through this. You're gonna see that a lot more, how can I say, a lot more dramatic toning abilities are going to happen when the hair is lifted to a level 9 and 10, 8, 9, and 10, but it will cancel a level 6 as well. It will cancel on all levels, but if you want to see a drastic cancellation, of course, it would be on the lighter levels. Now, and to answer that question even more, going further into what a colorist do, is that maybe when you're here, maybe you don't want to use a toner like this. Maybe you want to cancel using Claro Professional Demi-Permanent Hair Color, and maybe with an ash base to it. Looking forward to kind of like a blue or green undertone, and that would work better probably than this one, because it would have more canceling abilities, since it's a demi-permanent, totally just depositing blue and green pigments in there. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, she says thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay,
yes.
Great. I love all these questions coming in. Let's go ahead and move on to the before and after visuals, Louise.
All right, let's do it, baby.
Sorry, I went up too much.
Oh, don't worry. And here we can see some pictures of two different clients that came into the salon, and we use the Shimmer Lights Flex Lightener. On the top one, as you can see, we did kind of like an off the scalp application, and we pre-lightened her. After using the lightener, you can see there in the middle picture on top how it lifted, but it still had that, natural warmth that happens when we use lightener. And she was looking for more of a cooler, icy tone. So therefore we went in and we toned it, and you can see there the beautiful results. It looks more ashy, more shiny, more vivid. And I love that. On the bottom model, she wanted an all-over blonde application. So we went in and we used the Shimmer Lights with 20 volume. We apply at the regrowth area. We let it process up to 50 minutes. And once that was done, we went ahead and we toned it with the cool beige color. And that is the final results. All righty. And so the Shimmer Lights has more solutions for our blonde clients. Now we have a lightener that gives us up to 70, up to 97 less breakage. It strengthens the hair from outside in for a beautiful clear lift and cool blonde results. We have our toners that we've been talking about, and we will continue because I want to address in the color correction segment, we're going to go deep into all of those questions that I want to elaborate on. And last but not least, we also have the maintenance, which is the cleansing, conditioning, the shine, and the manageability products, which essentially we're talking about, you know, the leave-in conditioner, the thermal protection, and all of that. Let's get into it on our next slide. And so here, yes, somebody wants to say something?
Nope, you're all good.
Okay, so the Shimmer Lights retails continue to solve top blondes issues. As we talked earlier, sometimes, most of the time nowadays, it's very trendy to have clients that want a low maintenance look. You know, people nowadays don't want to be in the salon as often as they used to. And so these are solutions for them and essentially for us as well to be able to provide retail products so that their hair is looking the best all the time in your billboards are walking beautiful, and you can have more clients in your chair by recommendation. So most of the issues that we're solving here, it's dualness, dry hair, damage, brassiness, and tangling. For this, we have these amazing products that are going to give you luminous shine, deep conditioning. That's going to prevent breakage, cool toning, and manageability. And of course, for over more than 40 years, shampoo and conditioner retail, the Shimmer Lights it has won many prizes because of its canceling toning abilities. This award-winning protein and rich color enhancing shampoo and conditions. It tones down brassiness and renews faded highlights for a brighter look. And it's also great also for people with gray hair. And so as I talked a little bit earlier, I didn't have kind of like to give you the visual, but here's a visual of the Violet toning mask that I was talking about earlier, which provides deep conditioning agents, and it tones the blondes, highlights, or silver hair. It has lavender extract and jojoba, coconut, and argan oil that are gonna leave the hair feeling really, really soft and shiny. The thermal shine spray, it protects against heat damage while adding color enhancing shine. And it's also an anti-freeze formula that provides a smooth, touchable finish. And last but not least, the leading styling treatment, which is a color enhancing treatment that conditions the hair for a smooth, touchable style. Nourishing formula helps reduce breakage while styling, and it has botanical extracts. Oh, and here we have another question for our amazing participants. How many shades of toners are in the Shimmer Lights Permanent Toner series?
And while everybody's answering, Louise, I do remember we had an attendee, I couldn't remember her name. She was asking about the toners, and then we had her wait until this section. Do you remember who it was? I think somebody had come off mute and asked a question about the toners.
Yes, so some of the toning questions that I can recall, I cannot recall the name and I apologize, but somebody
I believe it might have been Arena, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
She's smiling.
Arena, was that you? Okay, so for the toners, they, like I said, they can cancel anywhere from a level 6 all the way to a level 10. And some of the undertone pigments that we see from a level 6 and up are from here up. So as you can see, like a lot of orange, yellow, yellow. And so, like I said, you know, being a professional colorist, I recommend if you're having issues with someone who wants to be a level 6 but wants to cancel the unwanted warm tones, I would go with the demi permanent color that has blue or green undertones to cancel all of that orange, you know. And with the level 7, I would probably do the same depending on what's the final results that they want. But usually on a level 7, you can really see, you know, those cancellation abilities from the Claro Shimmer Lights toners. Now, what I want to get into, guys, is that in order to get the not the best results, because this is always going to give you the best results. What's important is that you know, as an artist, how much you have to lift the hair in order to achieve your client's expectations. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I'm going to go into deeper into this topic as soon as we go through my next demo, which is about, it can be categorized as color correction, but toners can not only enhance, they can also correct blonde shades. And that's essentially what we're going to be talking about after the demo in the color correction segment. And I'll elaborate on that one, if that's okay.
Awesome, thank you. Let's go ahead and get to the answer.
And the answer, as you know, it's 3. We have the cool beige, the smoky pearl, and the platinum ice. All righty, and I believe that we should go into the demo, if I'm not mistaken. Are you guys having a good time? Yes? Oh my goodness, I can't wait to share with you. Thank you, Stacy. Very informational. Thank you, guys. All righty, here we are. Thank you, Ashley. Oh, you guys are having a great time. Katie, thank you so much. I am so happy that I'm able to address all of these situations. Remember that at the end, we're also going to have a Q&A time. So whatever I don't answer, or if I create more questions for you throughout my presentation, don't worry, we're going to cover everything for you, because that's why we're here. And thanks to Marlo Beauty for providing this amazing educational Zoom video that's going to allow us to be able to work smarter, not harder. All of these products are sold at Marlo Beauty. You can go to marlobeauty.com, register, and get advantage of all the great savings they have to offer. I personally purchase from them, and I love it. It comes right to your home or salon, wherever you want.
Great. Luis, did you have one more video to show?
Yes, I was waiting. That's now, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
go
let
right
me
ahead.
share.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead, share my screen. Bear with me, guys. Let me go and start sharing our last demo for the day, which is the Shimmer Lights toners. And so, as you can see here, can you see that, guys? That blonde mannequin head with a lot of orange and yellow undertones.
Yes.
We are ready. So, okay, so let's talk about something that it's in the air all the time. A lot of people want to have platinum blonde, or like as someone else mentioned today, a beige tone, you know, and a lot has to do with the level of lightness that we provide for our guests at the salon before we go into applying the toner. And today, as you can see here, this mannequin has about a level, I would say it's about a level 8 in terms, like a light blonde, really warm, with a lot of orange and maybe a little bit of with a lot of yellow and maybe a little bit of orange in there. And so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to share this with you. There you can see all the warmth, and I'm going to do a quick color correction kind of like tutorial. So I'm going to bleach or lift the front, and I'm going to leave the back as is. Then I'm going to go ahead and apply one toner so that you can see. Here we're using the BW2 lightener in a 1:2 mixing ratio with 30 volume. We're going to create that triangular section on the top, and I'm just going to do slices back to back, applying the lightener away from the regrowth area, and then going in and smudging that towards the regrowth to create a soft transition and not a line of demarcation, especially here where I'm not using a weave. I'm using a straight up, you know, slice. I recommend to use very fine slices when you're doing this, because you want to make sure that you saturate that hair properly. And you can use your brush even probably in a vertical position, as you can see here, to give those highs and lows towards the regrowth area. Now, once I am done applying all of these foils around that triangular shape, as you can see here, we're going to let it process for 50 minutes and you will see the final results. Now, the key of this video is that I want to show you this client wants, let's say that this client wants a platinum blonde. Okay, she wants platinum. So I just pre-lighten the area. And as you can see here, you can see a level 8, how she came in. And then you can see a level 10, which is what we lifted only in the top front. And here I'm just turning it so that you can see those two differences. If the client wants a platinum blonde, you have to lift all the way to a level 10. If not, you're not going to get platinum. You're going to get beige. So if you want beige, you're going to lift it up to an 8. This was the Claro Professional Shimmer Lights Permanent Toner mixed in a 1:2 mixing ratio with 10 volume. We're going to apply from root to ends, and we're going to let process for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm using 5 sections. Applying the color from starting at the back, moving my way towards the front, moving the hair away from the client's face so that when we're done with this application, everything looks nice and neat and perfect, and we don't have no hair in front of the client's face. And here you're going to see the final results, and then we're going to go into Q&A. And I am going to give you all the tea. Isn't that beautiful, guys? Ooh, very beautiful. Look at that total transformation before and after. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we're going to talk about it, baby, because I have the final results here live as well. Okay. And so let me bring that in. Right now, I am just looking at the PowerPoint. If I'm able to look at myself, that would be great. Is this toner applied on wet or dry hair? Says a question was there. So this can be applied on clean towel, dry hair, but if you apply it on dry hair, you're going to have more cancellation abilities. So both application would be just fine, okay? All righty, perfect. Here we go. And so these are the final results, guys. As you saw in the picture, you can see it here live. And I'm going to turn it just like this because I want everyone to take advantage of this. So this client wanted platinum, okay? So if she wanted platinum all over, of course, we were gonna pre-lighten everything, right, honey? But I only did the front because I wanna share with you the differences. You know, if your client comes in and she has, let me give you a visual. She has this and she wants platinum. So if we lift her and she only lifts to a level 8, which was what this mannequin head was, let's look at the level 8 here. This is how the mannequin was, okay? If she wants platinum and you lift that level 5 to a level 8, you're not gonna get platinum. And it's not that the toner doesn't work. It's that you need to lift, you know, the hair until the right level to get the right results. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure you guys understand this, you know, because I know it's a common issue across, you know, the world with all of us. You know, it's very challenging to create these looks. And so, I'm sorry, that was backwards. And so anyway, so what we did is that we lifted from here all the way to here. And then you can get that beautiful platinum blonde. For this model, I use the platinum ice. Okay, so the platinum ice, it really does like a platinum ice when you apply it on the proper amount of lift, meaning a level 10. But if you apply it on a level 8, to answer a question that was previously asked, what happens if I apply this on darker hair? Well, it is going to give you cancellation abilities, but it's probably not going to be platinum blonde. This is more like a beige tone. So it did went in there and cancel all of that warmth. Honey, you're talking, but I see that you're on mute. So I'm not sure if you're talking over here. Just making sure. All righty, so this is the difference. So let me hear from you. Any comments? Any more questions? Is there something that I have missed? Let's go into it. But I hope that this gives you a solid idea of when you want a platinum blonde, what to do and what not to do. I have a question, says Kay Chills to everyone. You can go ahead and come off mute, darling.
Hi. So, by the way, this is very informative. Thank you for giving us this time with you. My question is, okay, you have a client come in and they may be a level 5, they're some sort of brown, and they want to go blonde, but they're new to you. You don't know what they have, the undertones underneath that brown or whatever. They have previous color, and you put the blonde on, you put the lightener on, and they start pulling up red and orange. What would you suggest in this line of color, Wella or either Shimmer Lights? What would you suggest that I use in order to cancel those colors out?
Oh my goodness, that is, yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna answer this from various perspectives, and hopefully I land in the answer that you're looking for. If not, just ask again, because I'm here for all of you guys. Thank you so much for picking on my brains and giving me these questions. So if you have someone who has dark hair, it's the first time with you, you don't know if they color, they say they're natural, they probably not. Most of the time they lie. I'm sorry to say, we all know it's the truth.
True.
So the first thing you have to do with the consultation is key. First up, but let's move consultation to the side and get to the nitty gritty. The first thing I would do, if it's the first time I meet her and we're talking and she wants that drastic change, you have to do a test trend. Once you do a test trend, you're gonna know what reveals, and then you can create a plan for her to achieve her goals together with you, maybe in more than one service. Maybe, you know, if it's natural hair, it's gonna lift beautiful. Now, which product should I use? If I see that when I do that test strand, she has previous bleach, maybe previous pre-lighten areas, and they were covered before she came to you, this will reveal that. And so if she has compromised hair, I would go with Shimmer Lights Flex because it has the bonding ability to keep that hair nice and safe, you know. And remember, you're gonna rinse and apply step 2 without shampooing. And then you're gonna either obviously shampoo and tone after that. But I would go the safe route. When compromised hair, you can go the safe route would be Shimmer Lights Flex. Now, if it's natural hair, you can go with the Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener. Gives you up to 7 levels of lift. And so, okay, so we're there. Now I'm going to give you another little tip. Okay, another tip would be if she's too dark, but she's natural, I would put it in foils because that's going to give you more lift than just applying the bleach all over and letting it process by itself. Okay, so that's another great tip. And I would use probably, you know, 30 volume. Most likely, if that happens, you're going to have to do a double process, which is going in once and going in twice. At the root, make sure you always use 20 volume. All right. Now, once you get the level of lightness, let's say that you didn't get the level of lightness that she wanted on the first service, because you already did a consultation and you already did a test trend, you're going to be able to tell her, we're not going to get you there today, but we're going to get you here. And from here, we can get there. Now, remember the tip that I gave you. So if she lives anywhere here, you can just go with, I mean, from here up, you can just go with one of these, but, and even here, but if she's here, because maybe her hair was previously colored black, it's only going to lift probably up to here. So here you might want to do a demi-permanent color that has a lot of green and ash in it to cancel that warmth, and then until her next appointment. Did that answer your question? Should I elaborate more?
Somewhat. You know, sometimes it's really hard to get rid of that red. So that's what I was. A great tip that I can give you when you want to get rid of orange or red or left or whatever color it is that you want to go with the same amount, with the same level. So she wants to be here, but she only lifted here. If you want to cancel this and make it more like this, which is what it essentially would be, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have to go with a demi-permanent color and probably not a toner at this point, because you want to add pigments to cancel that. Gotcha. Thank you.
All righty. You're welcome, beautiful. I know it's a very fine line and a lot of stylists have different ways to work. I'm just providing information of how I would do it. I am a colorist, but again, you know, there's a lot of people out there that I learned from as well.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
If the person, their hair is like a number 4 natural, but they have a curly perm, which is the Jerry curl on their hair, but they want to pre-lighten their hair to maybe like a level 6 or a 8 and then add pink on it. Would it be safe to do so on a Jerry curl hair?
So I would say that your best bet is lifting to a level 6 with the Shimmer Lights Flex, but lifting to a level 8, it's going to be tricky because you can over process the hair if you're trying to take a lot of melanin out of there after having that chemical process done. But maybe you can go ahead and do one shot and then give her maybe, I don't know, a month or 2, 6 to 8 weeks, and have her come back and just go soft and gentle. The hair will let you know. Just keep an eye on it. The hair would let you know if you keep an eye on it. All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Great.
You're
We have
welcome.
a couple more questions. We've got Honey. She wants to know that if you use the pearl, would it be even more ash tone? With the smoky pearl, I'm assuming the smoky pearl.
Yes, it would have been a little bit more smoky, a little bit more like when you smoke a cigarette and you get those gray ashes, it'll be a little bit more like that. Thanks you for the question, honey. But remember, honey, it's when it's a level 10, baby. If it's a level 9, that smoky, it's gonna cancel probably a little bit more than this, but it's not going to be smoking like what we're talking about if we apply it on a level 10. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Louise. And Jenny, very quickly, can this be used under the dryer?
We don't recommend heat with our lighteners or with our toners, but you can maybe use a plastic cap and, you know, have her own natural warmth work in there, but not like yeah,
no direct heat. I think we would be better off with using the body heat with the plastic cap just to, you know, hold that heat in. Kathy also has a question. She wants to know if you are working with hot red and a client wants an orchid with cyan blue, would you need to bleach twice with 3 weeks in between?
Okay, so in order to get those colors, you really do have to lift the hair to probably a level 9 or a level 10, which would be looking like this, because this is the natural and this is the contributing pigment or undertone. So it would have to look like this. So you would have to pre-lighten until you get here. It would be your prerogative if you want to do it in more than one service. It's most likely my recommendation to go slow and steady, little by little.
Yeah.
But then again, it's going to, you know, if she has a natural red, you might, if she has a natural level 7, like a reddish like this, you're going to be able to do it in one time. If that has been colored to that shade or tone, then you probably have to do it twice. But I mean, it's fairly light. I think you'll be good.
Awesome. And then last question before we go to the last slide, which is the Cadis conversion slide. Can the Shimmer Lights bonding clay be used with heat for more lift?
So the clay lightener, what I do when I want to get an extra lift from it, if I'm doing a balayage technique, I do a foliage, which is the same thing. It's just that you're isolating it with the foil, and that gives you an extra lift. That has been my experience using it. Now, we don't recommend heat, but you're the professional. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're more here to guide you in the right direction. Hey, you have to know the rules to break the rules. I think that if you pay close attention, if you want to put her under the heat, you can. Just make sure that you're working in a safe way, not only for you and your reputation, but also for your client's hair and well-being.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Louise. Let's go ahead and let's take you off camera, you and your beautiful model, and let's go ahead and go to the next one.
All righty.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm just hoping that everybody can just see one slide. Can everybody just see one slide? Awesome. Okay, Louise, you are up with the Cadis conversion.
All righty. So here we are with the Cadis conversion. So for example, for those of you who know the product from Cadis Professional, it's unfortunately out of the market. And if you were using the True Blondes lightening powder, you now can use the Wella Color Charm lightening powder. It gives you up to 7 levels of lift, just like True Blondes. It also has that oil-in technology that Cadis had. So you are good to go. If you were using the Blondes Unlimited from Cadis Professional, an amazing product. It's not in the market no more, but now we have the amazing Watercolor Charm Painting Balayage, which works exactly the same. I have to say probably a little better because the Blondes Unlimited was not ammonia free and this one is. So I feel like this is more gentle and it gives you more of that subtle sun-kissed look that it's expected from this type of liner. Remember, guys, that if you were using either Blondes Unlimited, which now you can use the Watercolor Charm Painting Balayage, this is only to create subtle sun-kissed looks, okay? So that's when you want to use this product. Do not expect to get a full-on platinum blonde 10 levels of lift from this product that only promises a beautiful natural touch. And it saves a lot of time because you don't need foils. And last but not least, we have the Cadis Lightplex, which was our lightning system for someone who had compromised hair. And now we have the Collato Professional Shimmer Lightplex Lightener, which used the same technology, the bonding abilities to go ahead and be able to pre-lighten hair that has been compromised or any type of hair, really. It gives you up to 7 levels of lift. It also has the step 2, which Cadis did have, and it was the same process. You lift the hair and then you rinse thoroughly. You apply step number 2, and then you're good to shampoo, condition, and style. Or if you're toning, then you're gonna tone after you shampoo. And remember, guys, to stay connected. Remember that you can find all of these products and you can shop for everything, not only these, but OPI and other great products at marlobeauty.com. You can sign up and you'll get some savings if you do. Remember to follow us at Marlo Beauty Supply on Instagram, at Marlo Beauty on Facebook, and at Marlo Beauty on YouTube. And if you create any of these techniques or looks, please make sure to tag us using hashtag Marlo Beauty Supply, hashtag Pros Go Marlo, and hashtag See It Creative. You can also follow me on Instagram at Luis Fernando_hair.